This is the new iPad Pro. At 12.9 inches, it's almost as big as the MacBook Air. It weighs 1.5 pounds, and with a zippy new A9X chip, has the power to burn and seems up to virtually any task. There are obviously differences between this iPad and all others that came before it. For example, the 4 sets of speaker grills placed around the chassis, the Smart Connector, which are a group of 3 connections on one long side of the device, and then there's the elephant in the room. The iPad Pro is simply ginormous. You can buy an iPad Pro for $799 for the 32GB model, but you're going to spend another $270 for the Smart Keyboard and the Apple Pencil in order to get the most out of this new device. However, with these, the iPad Pro becomes something much more than an oversized tablet. It becomes a productivity platform. Even though Apple introduced a new multitasking pane in iOS 9, it never felt at home on the tiny iPad mini. That's not the case with the iPad Pro. Now it's a multitasking marvel with more than enough screen real estate to accommodate 2 apps running side by side. I do wish I could drag stuff between the panes, but maybe that'll come in a future iOS update. The cover is also a keyboard, with full-size keys that feel great to type on. It needs no battery and doesn't need to pair with the iPad Pro. It also doubles as a stand. It has pretty much zero adjustability, but the angle is okay for most situations. As a bonus, I now have physical access to the emoji keyboard. There is no trackpad on the keyboard. With the touchscreen, you probably don't need it, but I wouldn't mind having it. The best way to understand iPad Pro's power is, no surprise, through apps. Apps like the eye-popping Complete Anatomy literally illustrate the tremendous graphics horsepower which leverages Apple's Metal graphics engine. That app put me deep inside the human body, and then as I stripped away layers of flesh, veins, and muscle, let me spin around the high-resolution skeleton like a top. The Maps app looked amazing on the giant screen. When you're finding your way, you're liable to get lost in it. Apple's Bluetooth-based pencil is a welcome addition to the Apple iPad accessory family. The pencil can charge right through the iPad, but there's no magnet or place to store the pencil in the Smart Keyboard cover or on the iPad, so try not to lose it. Where'd it go? I found it. It's okay. The pencil also includes palm ejection, so I can rest my hand on the screen while I draw. I can even use gestures while the pencil is touching the screen. A large screen is immersive, but it's also a large, heavy screen. Just using it can be tiring, but pictures and movies do look stunning on the display. And reading books? In iBooks, it's like a real book folded open on your lap. Yes, it has 2 cameras, a 720p FaceTime camera on the front and an 8-megapixel iSight camera on the back. But let's be honest, do you really plan on holding this up to take pictures? Apple promises 10 hours of battery life for the iPad Pro. I regularly got at least 9 hours when using the iPad Pro for a variety of tasks. And I used the pencil for 4 straight days, including a 2-hour drawing session before a pop-up appeared telling me that the battery was at 5%. Overall, the iPad does everything a smaller iPad can do, but its size, especially when paired with the Smart Keyboard and Apple Pencil, offers benefits smaller tablets can only dream of.